First Kill is a prequel to the 2009 sleeper hit Orphan, but does this film live up to its predecessor? Here's my spoiler-free review of Orphan First Kill. First, let me start off by saying I will not spoil this film because there is a major twist, and that twist is the best part about this film that will usher you along to enjoying it if it's not spoiled. Also, you can see this film independent of the first Orphan. So if you haven't seen Orphan, you don't have to run out and see that first in order to understand what's going on in this prequel. I think it's independent, but Orphan is far better than this one. Should you pay to see this film in theaters? This iteration is day and day, so you can see this in theaters or you can choose to see it on Peacock. I don't know if it's worth paying $20 to see it on the big screen if you already have Peacock. I don't think you have to see this in theaters. I don't think you have to pay the $20, save it for a film that you're waiting for to be released. But this film, I don't think you have to see it in theaters. And here's why. I will explain. You have to make a lot of concessions to compensate for the many issues with the plot and the concept. Let's jump right into the premise. So Isabel Fuhrman returns as Esther, a murderous 30-year-old with a rare hormone deficiency that stunts her growth, allowing her to pass as a prepubescent girl. In this prequel, she steals the identity of a young girl who was believed to have been abducted 4 years ago. The wealthy elite parents of the abducted girl are Trisha and Alon Albright, played by Julia Stiles and Rossif Sutherland. Alon was more distraught behind their daughter's disappearance and more relieved that she's been returned home than his wife Trisha. Esther planned to rob this family and abandon them, but her scheme is derailed when this family becomes too invested in her return to ever let her go. Matthew Finlan plays Gunnar Albright, their hyper-privileged son who's not too pleased that his sister is back stealing all the spotlight. Not bad, right? That's the larger premise of the story. But here's where it goes wrong. The setup and first few sequences of Act 1 are completely unnecessary. Esther escapes a mental institution in Northern Europe. Now, this is not a spoiler. This is in the logline and it's in the trailer. So Esther escapes a mental institution in Northern Europe and manipulates her way to America, to the Albright family. Logistically and logically, this doesn't make sense. And when you see the film, you'll put that together. You're forced to suspend common sense to believe the hook. That's a major problem with enjoying the story and the world that they build. The way the twist is orchestrated, those scenes didn't have to play out. You didn't have to see Esther escape from this mental institution, and those who have not seen Orphan would still be able to follow along without it. Esther's escape from the mental institution did not need to be in the final cut of this film or even in the script, in my opinion. Cut all of that out and start with Esther rifling through a batch of missing children till she lands on the one that resembles her most. That would have been enough to hook the audience. And subsequent scenes are just as bad. There are some really cringy moments that don't go there fully, They pull back before going full tilt, but you still feel the ickiness because at the end of the day, this is a 30-year-old, the story, a 30-year-old portraying a 10-year-old girl that's attracted to men. And even it's still cringy. And then one of the men is supposed to be her father. Like the underlying ickiness of it, they don't go full tilt. Again, they pull back, but it's still like present. And I thought it was cringy. I think you have to make too many concessions, and all you really have is that twist and maybe half of the third act. And the twist itself isn't all that original, it's just a shocker. In that way, First Kill is not a good movie overall. It was a good idea that spiraled into a jumbled mess of bad beats. I don't think you're going to want to waste $20 to see this film in theaters. Even the built-in audience who are fans of the first Orphan, I think the comfort of your own home, watching it on Peacock, if you're interested, is sufficient because it's just not a great movie. At any rate, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate you. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, peace.